Yeah, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it.
Might be feedback or something going on.
We got feedback?
Yeah, I hear it all the time.
How about now? Market vitals, the levels you need to triage the market. I don't hear feedback.
Okay.
I fucked that up. I was going to bring in with a little tequila sunrise, Matt. And somehow I got stage fright right away. Market Vitals, the stream, marketvitals.io, the community, Miss Trade Band, Matt Davio, HFR, Bobby Half, with you on a Monday and a condolence Monday, Matt, for me, uh, as the Bears had a chance to do something special. And the only special thing I saw was I'm not sure how long they can work the Justin Fields experiment in an NFL setting. Because if here I said this on the way in, as we talked pregame, Aaron Rodgers is playing quarterback for the Bears. They win the game 73 to fucking 12.
For sure. Quarterbacks matter.
I mean, the running
bring back
game,
Mitch Trubinsky.
average at best.
Well,
The running game was fantastic. The line play was pretty damn good. They got to Rodgers 3 or 4 times, and they were a little susceptible to the run. It's just you cannot in the NFL, if you got a play that's got a player open, you can't miss him. You just can't miss. And he missed a few by 10 yards.
Yeah,
just brutal.
you could have done better than that for sure.
And I just don't see how how do you recover from that? I just don't see how.
I mean, and the sad thing really is, and we talked about, you and I kind of talked about it this week, they could have picked up Jimmy G this week early for peanuts. And why wouldn't Chicago like a nice Italian as their quarterback? As you look at that.
Give me the eye tie, for God's sakes. He can make Sunday dinner
I mean,
for everyone.
He can get you 180 yards a game and not lose a game for you. So I'm just saying.
I don't know. It's just it's so depressing.
Anyways, 2-0 here with the pro picks again. 2-0 with the Lions and the Packers. I gave you the win, so that's all that matters.
All right, you struggled a little bit on Saturday. You're 4-10.
Yes, I was 6-5 on the picks I gave here, but I had 2 different parlays. I changed them up a little bit. I was 4-2 on one parlay group, so I won 4, lost 2, and then I was 5-1 on the other. I did not win either of my 16 parlays, but overall, I still was a winner because I took them all individually. So I was 9-4 on the college side.
Yeah, you know what hurt you was here. Let me just tell you something. As an analyst, your hatred for the Pac-10 hurt you because you basically bet.
No, it was funny because even before the game, my son and I were talking about how we thought it was a sucker line with Washington favored. And I realized, and once the game started, I was like, oh, they got the Indiana quarterback and the coach. That's why they're so highly favored, because they did get a Big Ten quarterback who was better than the other Big Ten quarterback from Michigan State. So I didn't know that though. Now I do. So that is my bias.
Yeah, but admit it. You should not bet Pac-10 games because you hate the Pac-10 so much.
Well, Minnesota
clouds you.
Minnesota smashed Colorado, so I was right on that one. So you're wrong again.
And but you were wrong. You were wrong, Oregon.
And I liked Washington State this week. Heavy, big favorites. They covered, and your Indiana sucked. But I thought that quarterback was on Indiana. Now he's on Washington, so that changes everything. Indiana sucks. I thought it was the same team as last year with that same quarterback, but now he's on Washington. This is what I said. I don't know these things.
Matt, do we see my Twitter page? I'm asking you.
Yeah, we see it.
All right. We both love Will Zalatoris, but this is how deep for me they're trying, because this guy's an up and coming star, right? And he's interviewing here on golf.com, and he's talking about how the Live Tour is just about money, and it's mostly older guys in the fucking twilight of their career, yada, yada, yada. And he goes to make the point that he hasn't even won yet on tour, and he's made $10 million. That's great, Will. But with all due respect, as I say in my tweet here, you're the 8th ranked player in the world.
Right.
What is the 8th best Major League Baseball player? What is the 8th best NFL football player? What is the 8th best NBA player making?
Right.
And I guarantee you, it's in the, that football player. I think the 30 million a year is the 8th contract this year. 30 million a year.
Yeah.
So it's these player unions. Maybe the PGA players, aside from the LIV, should form a union because they'd be better able to carve out their fair share of the giant revenue contract at the PGA. And believe me, the LIV Tour does not, they obviously saw this giant opportunity on harvesting quality players because the money is so disrespectful. Let's just call it what it is. Disrespectful for the talent that they're using to sell their product. I don't know. Thought it was interesting, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, the TV money is large, but it's definitely not NFL large. And just to rub it in your face a little bit, I'm going to bring up the top NFL players. And number one, of course, is a quarterback. And he's, of course, the guy who destroyed your Bears last night.
Yeah,
50 million a year. So it pays to get the right quarterback. Second is Russell Wilson at 49. Kyler Murray with a great comeback yesterday, by the way, deserved
great NFL comeback.
Deserved his 46 million. And poor Deshaun, well, he's not playing still, but he's raping women and getting paid 46 million a year. Not a bad gig. Just saying.
Look at these are the best at their
Patrick
craft.
Mahomes getting 45 million a year, owns part of the Royals. He's a baseball team owner now. Josh Allen, 43 million. Derek Carr, 40 million. Dak, he's out for the year, a good half of the year, 40. Matthew.
I wasn't even close. 40
million. You're not even close. But this is the point. This is just what they get paid in a year, too. This is not a lifetime's earnings like Captain Will over there. Will.
And his point was, I haven't even won. Well, neither have most of these guys.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins still hasn't won shit, but he's in top 10 at 35 million. We're still in the quarterbacks here, by the way. Carson Wentz, he won one, and he's getting 32 million. Aaron Donald, the guy chasing these guys down, first defensive guy there, 32 million. And we go on and on. If we get down, Devontae, he left Green Bay to go to, the Vegas. He's getting paid 28 million a year as a receiver, top guy probably on the receiver side. So yeah, even Joey Bosa with the Chargers down here at 27 million. These guys get paid a lot of money, but there's a lot more money in the NFL is the point. I bet you kickers make more than Will Zalatoris. So Will, you should start crying a little bit because that kicker,
Here's
plays
my question.
He plays. That's the bigger issues. Like the kicker makes more money than you do, Will, and he doesn't play more than 5 minutes a game.
At the most,
I'd rather be a kicker than grind it out on the pro tour. Got to make the cut.
All right, Monday morning pit talk here. Let's jump over to something that we can chat about, and that is you shared in the network here the latest of the Los Angeles container freight benchmark rate for a 40-foot container box, which you can turn into a beautiful residence if you like.
Right.
And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more container box residences if this chart continues. Because believe me, as it went to 12,000, they made as many of the container boxes as they possibly could. I think you're going to be able to pick up a container box cheap here. But for sure, Matt, that is not do you want to reach out and buy this here?
No,
you're a chart guy.
Just looking at the time frame here, 2018 through 22. We're going to test the lows, and the COVID lows are those, basically those lows. So it's somewhere around 1,700 a container, and that's not even on sale still. So yeah, there's a lot more. Just like everything has to cycle up. Everything that blows off like this has to blow off to the bottom side now. So it's just a matter of time. Which this should be another warning for, do you want to watch 60 Minutes and that reality, or do you want to watch the reality of what's actually happening with prices, which is what we try to talk about here, right? So prices should be the only thing that matter.
The breaking news was how the elites were so open-hearted, and I thought this was a very, very good one from the Pacific. It wasn't that bad. Residents of Martha Vineyard shared their first experience.
I'm sure it had to be a touching, epic, human interest story to watch those three waspy, blonde-haired women talk how scary it was to have 50 Mexicans that weren't working on their properties
there wasn't a leaf blower to be heard, and they were freaking out. It's the hypocrisy is just, it's beyond words. It's beyond words. All right, Matt, let's go to some price discovery. I want to talk about the weekly, but if anything else jumps out at you to begin with, why don't you tell me something that you're keying in on here?
Well, I'm still liking natural gas here, and it's been on sale along with crude was on sale again this morning, dipping down into the high 81s. But I really like this natural gas story again. I think we're just coming into the winter, continues to hold the 750 level, which we talked about last week. If you can get it down to that 750 level, pick some up. Well, it traded down to 742 or so. Please buy some natural gas. This is not done going down, and I still think the same situation again happens with crude, and crude dipped down into the 81s today and is back up to 85 as we speak. So again, they keep trying to break this thing, but it's just not going to be easy to break, I don't think. And again, 91 back to 82, some violent moves, but again, the ping pong paddles are out and you should be playing here. These things are moving. And again, even if we break 80, you get short maybe down to 70, but I don't see 70 failing. I don't see 70 failing anytime soon. And it has nothing to do with inflation. It has everything to do with the supply side now. And we're running out of crude due to our own policies. And then, like, when you say this to people in our own country, like if you try to alert your lib friends that, strategic reserves are being dwindled and we don't refine and we're not, producing anymore. And then they say, well, they could drill all they want. I'm like, yeah, but they shut down the refinery. Do you understand like how one doesn't help the other one? They don't get it. They don't get the way, like if you don't have flour, you can't make bread. So
very, very well put, Matthew. Very well put. I want to share.
And then you better be relying upon Jesus and ask for 5 loaves of bread, because that's the only thing that's going to save you at that point.
And a fish or two.
And a fish or two.
Matt, here's the SPOOs on a weekly, and pay attention to this. 39.66.25, Matt, that weekly momentum level on the lower end. For sure, tons of available room, standard deviation modeling wise, to the downside. But I bring this up more because we talk a lot about fractals and how one replicates another. And if this was a 15-minute chart, if this was a 60-minute chart, it's a weekly, obviously, so it takes longer to develop than those timeframes. But it continues to look terrible to me. It continues to look broken as can be. And, you talked a little bit about if the Fed raises a point on Wednesday, maybe we rally. I just win, lose, or draw. I don't see how this thing mounts a rally. I will for sure be wrong if we can close the week above 39.66 quarter. They've done it a couple of times in the last 2 months, but last week's engulfing candle tells me a lot that longer term, bigger money is looking for places to exit this market. And I'm not sure what the Fed can do to save that. I think it has to play out at this point. And I know you saw, because you commented on the electricity bill from the UK, where it was $52 a month, and it's going to go up to $1,200 a month for electricity. I know that we follow some people here in Texas. You actually do this. You negotiate your electricity rate. And most people in Texas are looking at a 30 to 40% increase in their electricity rate. I mean, so all of these things put together, I hate to be
and then you got Sleepy Joe last night just saying that it went up an inch, and even whatever whatever his name was, he was like, what are you talking about? We've been over, and even the journalists recognize that they're not measuring it the way they did in the 70s. So we're double what we were in the 70s, and we're not admitting it, which is like, it's even worse. Like, because then it's all narratives. And again, if as numbers people, we see the real numbers, and then he's absolutely lying. And you got to have Jean-Pierre she looks like some, cartoon character, she has no idea what she's even talking about. Like, at least Jen Psaki is a little intelligent. This one has no idea what's going on. So the talking heads now are full on idiots, and the puppeteers are just telling them what to say, and they don't, what they're saying makes no sense. It's again like make up some more pronouns, make up some shit, throw it out there, add into the fire, and just keep on adding, some more, fire, just make it more flammable, because it's just insane what is going on. And it just, I don't know. Yet the bonds made another new low today, down at 130.05.
Bring that up, because we look at it most every day, because number one important thing I know on your checklist is to make sure you're paying attention to what the bonds are doing if you're trading equities.
Yeah, so we're back above the recent low of 131, which we broke on Friday, and we made a new low today. If this is a longer term chart, but you can see it. It's not pretty. There's nothing pretty on that. And this time frame, intraday, yeah, we banged off of 130.05, right off, pretty much right off the open in the equities. And we've been up the rest of the day. But again, where are we going to go? 132. That's your next line in the sand, I guess, for you counter trend people. But this is not something you want to stay too long on the long side. I just don't see this again changing. The thing that I found most interesting this morning was the 2-year was almost at 4 now. And you can see the inversion over here, 395. The 2-year is trading 395, up another 2% today. Hit 398. So we're coming to 4 on the 2-year, Bob, and the 10-year is still at 346. So the spread just continues to widen, right? And on the inversion, so that just tells you the Fed should have been doing a point and a half the last couple, and they're not, and now they're not going to get to where they should have been already. So before they start cutting, I don't see it happening. I mean, they're bottled in, and so the game, now you just need to know when they're going to start cutting again, whenever that is. That's going to be the more important thing, because
that could be 2025, Matt.
I don't know.
2026. Lee's saying electricity in New Jersey will be up 50 to 100% for all the consumers that want to stay warm and keep their food cold. Not a lot of other choices, are there, Matt? Are there?
Well, go cut down some wood.
They closed the coal plants, and now there's going to be a record number, which is CO2 not friendly, right? But
did you see?
Wait a second, way friendlier than wood, right? That's why they went to coal.
Right.
It's way friendlier than wood, and there will be a record number of logs burned in Europe this year. Probably they probably haven't seen this much wood burned in 100 years. What's going to get burned in Europe this year? Congratulations.
Well, speaking of Europe, did you see the EU? What's her name? The woman Nazi that heads up the whole EU. What's her name?
Lagarde?
Corella. No, she's like Dutch or something, and she's just always. They had a little Jerry Lewis telethon this weekend to raise more money for Ukraine. Did you see this?
Oh, I did see some of the nauseating footage.
I mean, it's literally like watching the Hunger Games. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, I can't believe this is even real.
And then we got our friend. Why don't you bring up as we go our friend from the north with his beautiful singing voice?
Yeah, I mean, just the crazy stuff going on, and then you had Trudeau drunk over during the Queen's festivities, singing Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. So again, I mean, what the hell is going on? I can't even believe this is real. And then I'm like, no, that's not real. And then you watch it and you're like, holy shit, it's real. I can't even believe it. So yeah, I don't know what's going on, Bob. I mean, it's insane. It continues to get more insane. Again, just watching the intention, what is the intention of the puppeteers putting Joe on last night? What is the intention of watching him pull out whatever he's going to write on his condolences board at the Queen's ceremony?
I thought he wrote "Get well soon."
No, but did you see he pulled out this thing that had this long thing, and he was basically copying it. It was a copy and paste job. I was like,
so
really?
He copied the wrong thing.
Yeah,
"Get well soon" was
probably
somebody else.
He probably gave his speech that he was going to give to Xi later on that he wrote in the condolences. I'm sure. So I'm sure that's what happened there.
What else do we got price wise? We've got to talk about at least, Rumble went.
No, it didn't go public. It's not new, but we can look at Rumble. It's been out for a while.
I thought it was a new.
No,
Yeah,
it's been out for a while. But We can look at it. You wanted to look because we were talking about,
I got bad information, but since you got it up, you might as well look at it.
yeah, it's been trading for a while. Rumble on, and I don't know. I don't know if this is it. This is Rumble on retail trade specialty stores, so it's probably not. Maybe I'm
No,
wrong.
it is not. Rumble Video IPO today.
All right.
Hold
Well,
on, let me see what it is.
I don't know what it is. You told me to look at it. I've never.
Hold on a second. Hold on. That's what we need Lee for.
Yeah.
Lee, you're fired. You're fired. Stock ticker. RUM.
Rum. Oh, it's the CFQ, that one again? All right. Yeah. So, okay, went public. 12 to 14 and a half. 9 to 18 and a half. Looks, I don't know. It just went public. But like your lib friends say, it's, Canadian, and who are they? They're not. That's conspiracy channel.
It's not even real. It's
Yeah,
not even real. All right. Any last things, Matt?
It's quiet out there. We got the Fed Tuesday, Fed meeting starts tomorrow, and the rate comes out Wednesday. Again, for me, I don't think I think 75 is the consensus. If they do, I've said this, if they do 1 or 1.5, 1 to 1.5, we might rally. If they do 75, I have no idea what we're going to do. If we do less than 75, of course, it'll get crushed. So that's why I don't play this, because I don't know what they're going to do, and you don't know what they're going to do. So we have to wait. And then you have to wait.
You got to wait, but I am still keying on that 39.50. What did I say? 39.66 level in the SPOOs.
Yeah.
I think that's where the argument comes in, for sure.
The other thing that happened last week, we could talk about it again. That AMT digital, that thing, remember that thing went crazy in August, went up to 2,000. Well, they tried it again last week. They ran it again from $50 up to 400, and now it's back to 80. So again, how many times do we have to say this on the show? Stop chasing this meme garbage. Just stop it. I'm going to take that Manja meat cleaver and chop off fingers for everybody that's buying this stuff until this is done. No, but this is just another explanation of froth. Until this stuff is taken out of markets, we're nowhere near the top. I mean, this is the thing. You can't have a topping market, a market be bottoming rather, with those types of names. It just doesn't work that way. And I got to think, the CEO of Moderna probably was, calling the White House today and saying, what the hell? We had a whole plan to roll this out this fall, more boosters. Now you're taking us to new lows, Joe. What the F is going on? I mean, so let's talk about
you
that.
Can't, in this space, you cannot have a more disconnected world than there is right now, with several countries saying, no, thank you anymore. Not even going to supply it. I don't know. It's a clown world where they have in the same sequence on TV, you can see Americarditis commercial, and then see a jab commercial that it's been approved. Yeah. So I guess, I don't know. Heart disease has been approved.
Well, but it's interesting. They have now they're promoting myocarditis for kids in New York Presbyterian. You saw those commercials over the weekend. I'm like, oh my God. But no, it's not an issue. It didn't happen out of nowhere. Just kids are having heart problems now all the time. That's weird. Yeah. Okay. Anyways. But this looks to me like it's got to test the low, which was 115 in June. And then, as you know, below that, I still think this thing's going, it's going to go down to much lower. So you want to sell it here at 125, or you can wait for $50-$60 because it's going to go there.
What's the lower point of control?
Way down here?
Yeah.
Way down? 31. It's going there
31.
too. It's going to zero. Yeah. All these stocks, BTNX is the other one, NVAX, you can bring them all up. They're all the same. So you don't have to trade them all, but they're all going back to shit boxes that they are. And it's a fascinating time because I don't know what to think anymore. But the other thing that we haven't talked about again in a while is Bitcoin got slaughtered again over the weekend, and again, not looking pretty at all. This
No,
continues.
it really needs to
I think
fill out that
this
profile.
next break of 17.4 or wherever it got down to before, and we bounced this morning. We got down to 18.2, so we're up 1,000 again. They're defending that line, which again, there's really no line here, but that 18,000 level is really what they're defending. So, and you can see once it gets through there, it's going to trade back down to 10,000. So it's just a matter, and all these holes will be filled in, and all this overhead above.
Well, amazingly too, Matt, when you look at the distribution, that higher fat distribution, it needs to fill in these holes. It just needs to do it, right? It needs to fill in these holes and make that distribute. I mean, Stottlemyre said that markets are efficient and they distribute in a bell curve over time, and they don't distribute like that. They do not leave that in general. In general, all those holes get filled, and the price discovery works that way. So
right.
There you go.
We haven't checked in on EVs in a while, but NKLA, another EV company, look at this thing. It's just working its way back to, again, zero. 2 billion market cap, still at 478. They'll run out of money. They'll all run out of money. I mean, again, what's so special about an electric car when Chevy during the Sunday night game is promoting, their 4 EVs? And I'm like, okay, Chevy's got EVs, then it's really no big deal anymore. And
well, especially if you're going to try to capture some of that market. I mean,
right. I mean,
they're set up, and
how many people are paying premium? How many people can afford to pay premiums for cars that are already overpriced? This is the thing. It doesn't make any sense. Why would I buy? Why would I
bring up Chevy or bring up GM? I know we've looked at Ford before, but I don't think we've looked at GM in a while.
I mean, it's, again, working its way back to the $15 level, and I guess some EV news, and selling some EVs gets you off the bottom there at 30 to 41, but it just looks like it's going to roll back over. So that kind of looks, up another buck today. Ford has been, doing the same. It got all the way down here to 10 and then rallied back to 17, and same thing. It looks like it's rolling back over again. So it's just bouncing, again, this is how it goes in the bear market. And the low there was down like $4. So long way to go. Ford will trade back to the single $4 to $8 range. It's just a matter of time. This point of control is right around 688. So that would be a good level, but I think it'll overshoot it and probably go to the 4s. So nothing new there, but it just continues to be the story. And then of course, Tesla, because it's Monday and, always goes up a little bit on a Monday. And that's a little perplexing. This thing needs to be probably, around $200 in my view right now. So, and that's, the point of control is down here around 226. So it's got to at least test that 200 level, see if it can hold. The COVID low for Tesla is way back here again, way back here around 35. So, I mean, these long-term charts still are not pretty, but they keep hanging up here. They
certainly are. And as we move forward and budgets continue to get pinched, I hate to be the barrel of bad news.
The barrel? You're the barrel of bad news.
There's a whole barrel of bad news. And I'm not just the only, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we share it all the time on some of these biggest money managers all saying the same thing. Right. To look out. So for us, it's sell rallies in pretty much everything, except electricity, except for production.
Well, here, like, and again, until like we haven't mentioned this name in a while, but I'm bringing it up again. Infosys, right? This thing went to 1900, and this thing will go back and trade, to the COVID low of 524. It's still hanging around here at 1300. Like, it's got a long way to go. I mean, look at this. This is just, now you're just like, you got the hope and prayer crowd that are just, please don't go down anymore, right? And they're not looking at charts, obviously. They're just
amazingly, Matt, how similar that looks to the Bitcoin chart.
Right. It's all, but that's why I bring these junky stocks, like MicroStrategy, and just look at Microsoft real quick on a long-term picture. You want to see a weekly on this to see how much froth is still in Microsoft. I mean, just look at this. This looks like a penny stock, the way it went almost inverted parabolic. And this is we basically flatlined for 12 years. Why did it do this? Oh, because we had this COVID thing again. So the COVID thing again created this false sense of, you know, everything's great, and now it's got to unwind itself. So I mean, again, there's not even a profile on this long-term weekly chart. I mean, there's nothing here. So just one inkling of bad news, and this thing could go from 240 to 60. Literally, could do it. Why wouldn't it? I mean, so when I look at things like this and what's going on, you know, and the censorship and what's going on in the world, I just don't see this as being good, you know, long term still for all, you know, we talked about it with Facebook. We haven't looked at Google. It's the same thing. I mean, this thing is so far above and beyond, you know, even with the cut. And that $100 level here becomes interesting just because it's, again, the round number, right? But this did have a split recently, and you can see that once 100 goes, why wouldn't it go much further? And it's, you know, below, it's making new lows again today, which is interesting. Pretty interesting. We got down to, you know, 56 range. 56 range was Friday, like 101.86 or so. So again, you're in this hole here where what's going to stop this thing from going down? I'm not, again, we're not making this stuff up, or it's not my opinion. It's just what the chart says.
Matt, Lee asked for Amazon. Why don't you bring that up, and then I'm going to share some Amazonish.
You know, same thing. It had a nice little rally. Jeff Bezos was hanging out with Roger Goodell at the game last Thursday. You saw him up in the stadium.
Well, and actually, you know what? I actually thought that was interesting because Amazon would never have got to these price points if they didn't pivot and start Amazon Web Services, and they captured a ton of the cloud space.
Yeah.
And so now he's getting into entertainment more with the Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, they've been a production company for a long time.
For sure, and a good one by that. You know, some great shows. Some of my favorite shows have been Amazon productions.
Yeah, and he owns Washington Post. And, you know, he's already trying to manipulate and, you know, control.
Why doesn't he just listen? Jeff? Why don't you just go buy Cuba and do the whole world a favor?
Mm-hmm.
Can't he buy Cuba with his net worth? I think he could.
I'm sure he could. I'm sure they'd take whatever they offered him.
80% of the profits. That's what Lee says. Amazon Web Services. It's like
Costco. It's Costco. It's membership services and hot dogs. That's where they make their money. Why don't they just shrink the stores and just make it a hot dog stand?
Matt, 80%. But the Shrimp Mojo now is. Look at that guy with the gorgeous mustache. Shrimp Mojo available at Amazon.com. Shrimp Mojo rub. Matt, also the bacon habanero ketchup, the Cajun hot sauce, and the whiskey barbecue sauce available as a bundle on Rumble bundle. And then don't forget, Redbubble has the Rub Me Shrimp Mojo ball cap available. I mean,
all right. So I got the ingredients for Chicago beef tonight. I got it's not going to be your Chicago beef, granted, but we're going to make it work. You're bringing the bread.
Tell me what you got and let me.
I need you to bring the hard rolls, okay?
That's for sure. You know, Bend, Oregon. One thing about the high desert and the lack of humidity, we have the best crusty French or Italian loaf you've ever had in your life. Unbelievable how good the bread is.
I need you to bring that tonight and whatever cheese you think we need to add to it. That's the two things. And so what I have is I got the beef. I got 3 pounds basically of the beef ready to cook up. I've got red, green peppers. I got onions.
Let me ask you a question. Did you get the flat top grill?
I did not yet, but we can do that. We can still do it on the stovetop. We can do it on the stovetop.
Oh my, tailgate special.
I haven't gotten it yet.
You need was it Blackstone? Yeah, Blackstone.
Yeah, I'm still gonna get it. It's still there.
For sure. The greatest thing since sliced bread. I think the flat top grill was invented slightly after.
Anyways, and then I got some yellow peppers and some jalapenos ready to go. So that's what I have. Tell us how you would do a Chicago beef.
All right. So for sure, when we reheat, we need to buy some beef, either bouillon or consomme, or we need to make a au jus. So, and my recommendation would be to take the beef broth that we buy and add it for the heating process and then pour it off for the au jus, because you got to be able to take that crusty bread with the beef and the peppers and the cheese melted in it. And you got to be able to dip it, and we need at least 2 or 3 full rolls of paper towel. I mean, need it, because you got to get in there. You got to dip it and eat it and drip all over. It looks like a felony offense if you're doing it right. Like your face is demolished.
And I don't have a dog anymore to clean up that mess, so we're gonna
R.I.P. Rudy, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the Manja Nation, not Manja Nation, the Market Vitals Nation knows that Rudy went to the other side and is enjoying. Rudy would enjoy a nice bowl of au jus.
Oh my
for
God,
sure.
devour it, just absolutely devour it.
All right, that's what we got.
So yeah,
Monday Night Football.
We'll take some pictures of that tonight, and
Let me ask you a question. All right, we got, for sure the Vikings should destroy the Eagles. The Eagles, I mean,
I'll take the opposite side of you on that one too.
All right, and then the Bills Mafia at home opener. Tennessee is good, great coaching, right? They're always solid.
Yeah.
What is the line on the Tennessee Bills game? Let's see if that can glean us any insight.
Yeah, let me look.
Buffalo's -10. I got to tell you, I love Tennessee in 10.
Yeah, no, you got to take the double-digit points again.
There it is, and it worked last night with the Packers.
It did not work, but the Rams were up like 15 and they choked it off, so it didn't cover on that one, and it didn't cover. There was another game also that failed, so they're actually 1-2 on the double-digit points this weekend, just to point out. But the Bills can even that up tonight with a crushing win over the Titans, and it's at home for Buffalo actually, so they're given 10 points. It opened at 7.5, so very heavy favorites. And the Eagles are at home, given 2.5, and I'll take the Eagles over the hapless Minnesota Vikings because I'm a Lions fan, and I would just do a 2-team parlay on that one. What the hell? Don't waste your money on 2 bets because it's the NFL. If I get one wrong, might as well go for the parlay.
All right, man. It's another
Aaron Judge. Did Aaron Judge get 60 over the weekend?
I don't know. I do not know that. Albert Pujols though has been on fire.
Did he get to 600 or whatever it was?
He must be having some shrimp mojo or something.
Well, he's just one last juice before to get him to the big number.
Right. Please visit us at marketvitals.io. Please share, restream, retweet, steal far and wide, plagiarize if you like, and do us a favor, buy some Manja Cajun Shrimp Mojo or the bundle or a hat, and own your next tailgate. That's what we say from now on for the duration of the season. Own your tailgate.
How good does Michigan look? I know they're not playing anybody, but that doesn't matter. They're getting.
Of course it matters.
No,
Let me ask you a question. Who do they got this week?
Maryland, 3-0 Maryland.
Yeah, but it's not even a team. It's a Division III team, right? Maryland, Terrapins, Division III.
Just another Big Ten.
They played Fairleigh Dickinson and Grinnell College.
All right.
Who else did they beat?
Towson State, probably.
Exactly.
Missouri, Baltimore.
Who's their? When do they play? I mean, Michigan State didn't look.
They got at Iowa. Yeah, Michigan State looked.
Iowa didn't look any good. I mean,
Iowa still, they still haven't lost, even though they haven't played. By the way, that game, I was pretty darn close. I said I had 24.5, and they lost like 27-0. I said I don't even know if Iowa could score 24.5 points, and they scored 27. Oh,
bingo.
These odds makers are good.
Yeah, they are. All right, that's it. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Bob.